So a police sergeant in Limpopo had actually been found guilty of committing multiple insurance fraud murders. Murders. This is kind of like now a serial murder, but by a police officer against some victims in the Limpopo province. Let's listen to this police officer really break down what went down, and I'll be back for some really interesting thoughts.
Female police officer has been arrested at the Senwabarwana police station in Limpopo. It is alleged that she has orchestrated multiple murders in order to benefit from insurance claims and payouts. Zola Shalwana is there and joins us live now. Zola, a story that sounds all too familiar, unfortunately, but talk to us about what we know about this particular police officer.
Well, a very good morning and thank you for the opportunity. There's a culmination of a lengthy investigation by Captain Keshi Mabunda. He was approached on the allegations that this particular police officer is involved in insurance-related murders. So we then roped in Captain Keshi Mabunda because of his expertise in solving similar cases. So he has been investigating this matter. He roped in insurance companies, various banks and so on. He collected all information, analyzed it, and then we obtained a warrant of arrest. We are quite confident that we have a strong case. But from the SAPS side, we are quite disappointed. As a police officer, you are entrusted with the responsibility of serving and protecting the people of this country. When a person such as a police officer then abuses powers conferred upon them, it's really it's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. We are here. We are sending out a stern warning to everyone, and we are stamping the authority of the state, saying we are also looking within. If anyone is found to be in the wrong, to be involved in criminal activities within the service, we will take the necessary action. So far, our investigation has revealed that she is at least linked to 6 murders. Some of these people were from disadvantaged backgrounds, destitute. Some of them were mentally challenged, some were disabled, and so on. And I believe that they were known to her, and these are people that trusted her. I mean, when you see a person donning the blue uniform, you could only expect them to lead by example. So she abused her powers as a police officer, and today we are saying it's over. It's over. We are not afraid as the SAPS if we find criminality within our ranks to change the blue to the orange uniform, and that is what we are doing today.
I mean, it's quite concerning, considering the fact that this is another, police officer. We have heard of Rosemary before, which then raises concerns rather about these issues. This could possibly be more prevalent, particularly, within SAPS or also in such communities in Limpopo, to be quite specific.
Look, that is why we are working closely with the insurance companies broadly. And we have made a call to the insurance companies to say, create systems in place to detect if people are frequently, cashing in on funeral policies, on insurance policies. If you detect any fraud-related activity or any criminal-related activity on your insurance policies, we are here. We have at head office established a team that is being assembled. The lead investigator there is Captain Keshi Mabunda, obviously because of his expertise in solving similar cases. So we are at this stage throughout the country having about 30 cases. We've got some in the Eastern Cape that we are investigating. We have in Northwest, you would have known that Agnes Setwanto is now going on trial in January. She has been linked to at least 2 murders, one of her niece, one of her biological son. We've also taken down Rosemary Ndlovu, who used to be one of us. She was dismissed following the case that she was involved in. She's received about 6 life sentences and more than 200 years in jail. So we are stamping the authority of the state, and we are saying not in our name.
Do we by any chance know that this particular officer, the 6 murders that are attached to her at this point, was she related to any of the victims?
At this stage, we know that she was not related. These were just community members that trusted her. Like I've indicated, a police officer is someone you look up to secure your safety. These are people that were vulnerable, destitute, disadvantaged. And what is disturbing is that they were known to her. We are stamping the authority of the state, and we have arrested our own.
Yeah, brilliant, guys. What do you think? I think it's this kind of like speaks to probably kind of like I would suspect it actually comes from a legacy of Becky Selle's leadership in the police, because this is not something that would have been new. It must have been going down in Becky Selle's regime as Minister of Police in South Africa. And now, it's unfortunate anyway that this police officer would have to end up this way. It's quite embarrassing, especially to the police. But I remember during when I used to make those videos during Minister of Police Becky Selle's time. He spoke about how, especially when you watch the campaigns by some of these parties, they spoke about how the police could be seen as a mafia in South Africa. And so this actually speaks to that. But anyway, let's listen to the details on how this particular police officer actually ended up, murdering multiple victims and claiming insurance claims based on them. So a really interesting report from the Daily Maverick speaks about how that a police sergeant based in Senwabawana Police Station in Limpopo has actually appeared briefly in Polokwane Magistrate Court on Friday, facing charges. And I'll be having a short clip on that video of the arraignment of the police officer in the court coming soon. And actually, it says that she actually appeared in this magistrate court in Polokwane, facing charges of committing 6 insurance fraud murders and pocketing 10 million rand. And it says that her arrest brought to 15 the total number of SA police service officers held within the past week, according to police. So this is crazy. So the GNU is actually now that government now that seems to be arresting police officers, okay, in the guilty of crimes in South Africa. Imagine that. I think that's something that's quite shocking. But anyway, it says that her name is Rachel Wright Sesa Shokane Kutumela, aged 43, and she's actually of Moletji Makofe, and she faces 6 counts of murders and more than a dozen counts of fraud stemming from crimes committed between 2019 and 2014. Let's just go quickly to the courts. Let's hear from the judges and her arraignment at the court and the judgment and how that goes down, and I'll back to complete this thought.
And our court clerk is Ms. Mbezi. As we have indicated, Your Worship, we believe this matter should be dismissed, in that it involves a premeditated murder of about 6 counts of murder, including the fraud charges as well as the defeating the ends of justice charges. The position of the state is that this bail application is opposed, and as such, we would wait for the application to be brought, but on our side is opposed. We have indicated same to the defense as well, that is going to be opposed, and on our agreement, we've identified the 18th of October is the date where we will be able to proceed with this bail application if the date is available to court, as a court.
Katibelo ya melato ya wala silipi sa botselela schedule 6 karolo ya botselela go ona le khano tsa go lo go le ka di a ila ke ba mtshetse go na mela mo eme go ba wena go tsisa go tole ya go ya bail ne a date ya go ne se go ke 18 soon so why
Good morning, Your Worship. I confirm my appearance in respect of the accused. Indeed, the schedule is confirmed as it is Schedule 6. And furthermore, Your Worship, the date as arranged with my then colleague is in order, Your Worship. If it suits the Honorable Court, may the said date be arranged. I'm told by the state that the other reasons for postponement is for the profile, so that on the game question we might proceed with the application as Mr. Court.
You also confirm that it will also be for profiling. Indeed, Your Worship, would take the opportunity in between the dates to profile the accused to verify his address and all other issues that have been raised for the purposes of bail application, so that come the 18th, we are ready to proceed as a corpus.
Anche ho fuori tutto questo bagasato poi già che c'è tutto felice con la figlia con parla me la trova le famiglie o la casa non lo è una cosa vabbè ma poi se qualcuno può essere bagasato io le può lavorare che si sa attraverso il mondo lavoro che non è neanche repa ma poi se va a lavorare ma poi c'è una mona proprio.
Thank you. Accused as per agreement between your health representative and the state, the matter is postponed to the 18th of October, 2024, back to this court, Court 8 at 8:30 in the morning for your bail application and the profiling. At this stage, I'm informed that this is a Schedule 6 bail application and it is proposed by the state. So your application will be held on the 18th of October.
De moment you have Malato, Tavo, the Pastor, Africa, Popular, Locola, the 18th of October, Mastrato, to Senator, no, I just about 6 hours into the October 2024, 48, over 7, past 8
And Your Worship, we then request a short adjournment so that the Senate colleague can then take over. That's the process.
All rise, vote.
Interesting. So the report actually also says that it is alleged that Sergeant Kotumela, that's the person you just saw now in the video, fraudulently took out life and funeral insurance for victims and has claimed 10 million rand since then as a sole beneficiary of various service providers, including ABSA, Standard Bank, Capitec, Hollard, Asopol, Old Mutual, One Life, and Clientele, according to the National Prosecuting Authority at the Limpopo Regional, at Limpopo. So it says that the incident began in 2019 when the insured persons would be found dead and their bodies dumped in different areas, all right, okay? It also argues that in one incident, a woman was burned in her shack, and in another, a man was disabled, you know, in this regard, and then he was drowned in a dam. These are quite gory. Many other arrests are actually also expected, says one person. It says that her arrest actually also follows those of 14 police officers. So 7 Soweto officers were also arrested for assault and subsequent death of a 41-year-old Fiso Dlamini at his home in January 2023. So this is kind of like a trend that's been going on. And also in Cape Town, it says that 7 public order policing officers were arrested in Milnerton, facing charges of extorting money from 2 Chinese shopkeepers. So it says that the Milnerton case is a case of a group of police allegedly operating as an extortion mafia. So it actually now makes sense when I remember one of the campaigns the EFF Julius Malema had to do in I don't know what province was that anyway, but one of the participants, one of the members of the audience actually came and said that the police is the mafia. So now this report makes sense. So it says that Milnerton case was a case of a group of police who were allegedly operating as an extortion mafia, and actually the extortion against foreign nationals and deaths linked to overzealous policing and corruption more generally are actually embedded features of policing in South Africa, says this. There's a consultant here from the Institute of Security Studies. Now, they also argue anyway that there are also a lot of honest and hardworking authorities in the police, but whenever there's a need that to call out corrupt ones, like you see that Lieutenant Colonel Mkwanazi always mentions, he says that they would always go for corrupt police because there will definitely be bad eggs amongst the few. So anyway, it's really unfortunate that this is actually what this police officer would end like. So I think it says that responding to the arrest in this Limpopo police officer, Police Minister Senzum Chunu actually said that 6 people who lost their lives were victims of a calculated and heinous crime to defraud life and funeral insurance policies. So the goal was to get the policies, the funeral insurance claims, okay, to the amount of 10 million rand by this one particular police officer. Mchuno says that this arrest serves as a stark reminder that there's no place in SAPS for officers who abuse their position of authority for personal gain or engage in unlawful conduct. Okay, so that's the perspective from Police Minister, and I don't know if probably this was the same mode of thought during Becky Telly's time as well. But anyway, it appears that most of these cases actually ran through often a lot during Becky Selly's time, and now they're coming out to the fore with really intense public arrests. Also with Ian Cameron as the head of the portfolio committee in the Parliament for Police, I think there's pressure also coming from his end to put pressure on SAPS to arrest corrupt police. I remember when Ian Cameron raised the issue of some corruption. I think it was a province also in Limpopo or somewhere anyway, that police had been carrying out a lot of crimes, which then led to the confrontation Ian Cameron had with Minister Becky Telly at that time. But now we see that there are now frequent arrests of police officers who are responsible for crimes in South Africa under the government of national unity, and that for me, I think that's quite interesting, because if the police can be behind crime in South Africa, then we see no end to the crime. Because you see, those who are supposed to be stopping crime and keeping the country safe would then be the ones who are actually indirectly promoting the crime, and I think that's really dangerous. But anyway, that's what we'll have for now. What do you guys think about this report here? Share your thoughts in the comments.